What is up, guys? Steve here and welcome to another video. Well, the plan for today is pretty simple. We're going to try to catch fish, any kind of fish really. We are out here in Washington on the Snake River below one of the dams right here behind me, as you guys can see it. And one of the main reasons we came out is Jeff actually just bought a hut tent, one of those bigger, I shouldn't say it's big, canvas tents that you get that's mostly designed for winter camping. By the time he ordered the tent and it got here, unfortunately winter is kind of over now. It is currently beginning of March here in Washington. That being said, the snow actually just melted right as we got the tent, so we didn't really get to experiment with it in the snow. The intent for the tent is going to be in the future is for winter camping and kind of fall hunting camp. So nevertheless, we wanted to come out here and try it out, test it out, so to say, set it up and kind of see how it goes. He's set it up a couple times already. We set it up once at my house just to see it, and then this is kind of its first real life test, so to say. That being said, if we catch a fish, that would be pretty cool. Right there, if you guys can see behind me, we actually have our rods already set up. Jeff's got his rod and I got my rod out there. So we're just basically bottom fishing with worms just to see if anything bites. And like I said earlier, the main purpose of this fishing adventure is to kind of test out the tent. So we kind of just spent some time getting it all set up. I will say it was actually pretty easy for the first time, considering we never set it up before. So went pretty smoothly. It should still get pretty cold at night. We're expecting it to drop right around freezing. That's what the forecast is calling for, so it should be right about 30 degrees. So we'll probably run the stove, kind of test that out, and then see how it goes. Let me go give you guys a little tour of our setup there. Looks pretty damn comfy. We got the cots out here. Cots are gonna go in there in just a second. Show you guys a little trick here. As you guys can see, for the side rope, if you guys run it to a stick and then to the ground, just like that, it actually pulls out your sides more, gives you more room inside the tent. You can see it's pretty damn roomy in there. Show you guys inside. Jeff's gonna set up his stove here in a minute, and then we're gonna put our cots in here.
The treat runners. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
That's it. 8 minutes and 3 seconds later, and 12 bent steaks.
It's been about an hour. We've not had so much as even a bite. But you know what? It's how it goes some days. Let me guys show you a little bit of the tent setup. Want to talk about your tent, Jeff?
Yeah. So, I don't know. I've been debating doing this for like a year. I wouldn't call it necessarily like a hot tent that you can like walk around with, because it is heavy. I would say it's around 30 pounds, and the stove is around 16. It's the Montana Canvas. It's called their range tent. So it is a teepee tent. So it's a 12 by 12. Granted, you lose some usable space, but if everything goes right and you're not slamming into rocks or anything, you can have this thing up in like 10-15 minutes with the stove in it. You know, Montana Canvas treated me pretty well. Like, their customer service is pretty good, and as you can tell, they slapped a logo on my tent, complete with a phone number and a website. So if you camp in places with cell phone service, you can order your tent on the spot if that's what you want to do. But so far, this is the third time I've had it up. I took it up in the snow one time with my girlfriend. That was a good experience. It is a lot of work to get them to dry out. So if you don't have a setup to dry it out, you got to get creative. I had this thing in my living room with a little electric heater going, and that seemed to work well. Then we set it up in Steve's backyard just cause, and that was fun too. I will say, I had a thermometer in there, and with this stove, the thermometer was probably 2 feet off the ground, and I had it over 95 degrees, so well above 100. This thing will grow red in the light in the night. Hopefully we can get that shot for you, but overall I'm really happy with it. When we were snow camping with it, it was probably 20-25 degrees. We got another 6 inches of snow that night. It did really well. Just kind of lessons learned every time we set it up. Like today I learned, rocky area, these stakes, which I thought were a little bit meatier, obviously will bend right in half. So I don't know, I'm happy with it. This is the inside. We got 2 cots in here for now, and generally run 2 people here. You can set a table in the corner. This is the Riley Little Amigo. So it's 10 by 11 by 18, and it's just got the collapsible stovepipe that goes on. I will say, like, this thing gets really hot really quickly. It takes a couple hours to get a good coal base built up on it, but after 3-4 hours, you're able to stick in like some 3-inch by 3-inch by 18-inch diameter logs in there, and you can kind of get it to average out around a comfortable like 75-78 degrees in here. It just takes a while to get that coal base up, but it's got adjustable fluke, and then there's another adjustable fluke on the chimney right here. I haven't messed with that one too much because a lot of the stuff I've read is that if you tighten this one too much, you'll actually get smoke to back up inside the tent. But it gets very comfortable very quickly, and it's pretty roomy for 2 people to like totally glamp it out with everything you'd want. And obviously if you're sleeping on sleeping pads and sleeping mats, you can get 4 or 5, probably 6 people in here if you really wanted to. But the insert kind of folds out for where the stove goes, and I don't know, I'm excited about it. Kind of time will tell. Hopefully we can get this thing in some really cold weather. That's what I'd like to do, and see what it does. It's 10-ounce canvas, and like I said, kind of like the not durability, but like the easiness of setting this up compared to like larger wall tents is what really appealed to me. And hopefully it'll just kind of open camping comfortably into later months of the year and earlier months of the year.
So you guys heard the mains. You guys can see we got one cut over here. We got Mike cut over here. We'll probably move that thing out as we get ready for bed, but we're excited. We're gonna get this thing hot tonight. So as you guys can see, the stove just goes out that way, and then it kind of comes out over here. Pretty cool. There you guys have it. The camp's all set up. We got our rods in the water. I don't want to bore you guys with the setup this time. It's the regular bottom fishing setup. You guys have seen me set up multiple times. So I will tell you guys what, the sun's finally setting down over the hill, and it has gotten pretty chilly pretty quickly. As you guys can see, I already got my vest on. It was about 70 here earlier. This is probably one of the nicest days we've had here this year so far. So that being said, with the sun going down, we are going to go ahead and start a fire here soon. As you guys can probably tell, we haven't caught a fish yet, so we're not doing a catch and cook, but most likely we're just gonna, we did bring a T-bone, so we'll probably just cook that over the fire. And like I said, we might still catch fish.
Just so you guys know, like, that stove's 11 by 10 by 18. This is like the largest piece I would put in it. But when you get the coal base up and you close the fluke off at night, you can get about 4 hours of burn if you put 2 or 3 of these pieces in there, and it'll keep the tent around 70 to 78.
Not for you, buddy. We'll get you a stick in a little bit. It is that time of year here in the Pacific Northwest. If you live in the Pacific Northwest, you might know, but it's that time of year where your jacket comes on and off about every 15 minutes. It gets cold when you're sitting around, you start walking around, you get hot, you start a fire, you get hot, so you take it off, then you get cold again, and the jacket goes back on. So that's what we're doing right now. As you guys can see, we've got a pretty nice fire going. Plan now is let these coals kind of burn down. Probably in an hour we'll start cooking dinner, and then I'm gonna pull my sturgeon rod out because it's about 30 minutes before sunset now, and you actually can't legally fish for them at dark in Washington. So I'm gonna get that rod out, and then I'm gonna rig my other catfishing rod. I'm gonna throw it back in. Oh boys, it's time for a steak. We're just basically using a mix of paprika, salt, and pepper to season it up. T-bone's done, guys. What do you think, Jeff?
Always good.
Well, you guys, there's quite nothing like a T-bone steak cooked over the fire. It is absolutely delicious. And as always, you gotta have your vegetables. Check this thing out. Well, you guys, unfortunately the fishing doesn't seem to be panning out today. The weather has definitely gotten a lot colder. The wind has picked up. It is currently around, I think, 10 p.m. We didn't stay up too late, but it is getting pretty cold out here. And honestly, guys, I think we're going to go ahead and head to bed now. We're going to get in that tent, start the fire up. Well, Jeff's starting to get the fire going in here in the tent. You guys can see Remington's over here, already ready to bunk out for the night. He's been ready to go in the tent for about an hour now. I'm gonna turn the light off. See if that thing gets glowing red.
I don't think it'll view, but it will.
Well, you guys, this thing's been cooking for about 3 minutes now. You guys can already see the pipe right there is actually starting to turn red. Right over there. I don't know if you guys can see my finger. I got the light off in here right now, but it's been burning for about 3-4 minutes, and we literally just got it going, and you can already see the temperature difference in here right now. You guys can probably hear it. I don't know if you guys can hear that draft. But that thing's just sucking air.
Can you see the stovepipe?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You guys can see the stovepipes already getting red, and the heat you can already feel it. So we're guessing it's around 30 degrees outside. It's definitely gotten chillier since the sun went down. We're wearing sweaters and jackets out there, and
At this, our ass off here in
yeah,
3 minutes.
at this point I'm about ready to take my jacket off in here already, and it hasn't even really gotten going yet. Well, as you guys can probably tell, I'm in bed now. It is toasty in here. We actually had to shut our jackets because it is hot, and we got the window wide open, so it's definitely cooking in here. But that's fine because it's gonna get probably colder as the night goes on. So as you guys can see, here's the chimney going. We got a bunch of firewood for the night. The dog actually decided to make his bed right by the fireplace, so he's staying nice and warm as well. Jeff, you having fun?
Oh yeah.
That being said, I think I'll see you guys in the morning. Good night. Gonna warm up myself a little bit of coffee here. I actually brought a cup from home. I'm kind of cheating today, but you know what? It works. I just don't want to drink it cold. What can I say? A night went pretty well. It definitely got very windy last night, which is very common for this area. Generally speaking, this river is in sort of a canyon, and typically I would say 80% of the time that I've come out here, it is usually windy. I would estimate we had winds of about 20 miles per hour last night, which got pretty windy. That being said, the tent did hold up pretty well in the wind. We did have a little trouble with the stove. We don't have a stove cap or anything, so once the wind really picked up there, we actually had to turn the fire out. So it did get a little bit chilly because the smoke was just blowing all back into the camp, all back into the tent. So that's that. I think our plan is to do a little research online and see how you can battle that, because we just don't have very much experience with canvas tents. I got my rod back in the water now. I definitely got up a little earlier. Jeff's still sleeping. I got my sturgeon rod up. I'm hoping to hook into a sturgeon. We'll see what happens. As you guys can see behind me here, I got a little fire going. I made myself a little coffee. I should say I made it. I warmed it up. It was yesterday's coffee, but you know what? It's pretty darn good. So Plan now is just kind of relax here, enjoy the morning, enjoy the scenery, maybe even catch fish, and then once Jeff gets up and going and we all kind of get up and going, we'll probably start cooking some breakfast. That's the plan. I don't know if any of you guys have ever fished near a dam before, but I don't know why, but in its own little way, it's kind of a unique experience. It kind of brings this little ambiance to the whole experience. You could kind of hear it humming at night, and I don't know, it's just kind of neat. You'd get old if that's all you did, but every once in a while it's kind of cool. You guys should give it a try. Remington's getting his breakfast. Hope you like bacon, buddy. Here you guys go. Breakfast champions. Or breakfast of a fisherman who never caught any fish. Now he has to eat bacon. Well, you guys, this pretty much wraps up for another adventure here in Washington on the Snake River. To be honest with you guys, we came out here mostly to just get out of the house, get outside and do something fun. It would have been nice to catch a fish. We did not. You know what? That's just the way fishing goes. And that brings me to another point I wanted to bring up to you guys. I think sometimes with YouTube and online videos, it just seems like no matter what, every time people go out, they catch a fish, and it is simply not the reality. So I'm gonna be a little bit honest with you guys. Like one of my friends recently said to me, if people think every time I'm coming out here and catching a fish, something is wrong with those videos, because that's definitely not true. And I'll be honest with you guys, this is the third time I've gone out now and I did not catch a fish. The fact that I come out here and catch fish every single time I go fishing is definitely not true. They're just not the reality. It's not how things go, and it's just part of fishing. I actually came out to the Snake River here previously, tried to make a video for you guys. I actually went up north to northern Idaho. As you guys voted, I tried to do a winter fly fishing video, and both trips I caught no fish, so I ended up just scrapping the footage, because to be honest with you guys, sometimes I just don't see a point of me posting videos if I'm not catching any fish. I simply don't think you guys want to see that. So people like to see you catch fish. That's kind of the point of these. So I'll probably still post this one. I'm probably not going to scrap it. At this point, I don't even know yet, but I feel like this was a good adventure. It's kind of fun, so maybe I will make the video and post it. So that being said, you guys, don't be discouraged. Sometimes you go out there, you just don't catch fish. That shouldn't stop you from having a wonderful time with good friends and family. With that, we're currently putting our gear away. It is the afternoon. We do have to get back to town and get back to our daily living. So this pretty much wraps this video up. As always, I would like to thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like this video, and we will see you guys in the next adventure.